Hello everyone. In this video review, I will discuss the TEDx talk Storytelling in Virtual Reality by Anthony Geffen. The talk introduces virtual reality as a powerful new way of telling stories and engaging audiences. In this review, I will summarize the main points, analyze the storytelling techniques used by the speaker, and explain how VR can be applied in my professional field. Anthony Geffen begins by pointing out that traditional storytelling is mostly linear. When we read a book or watch a film, we stay outside the story. We observe it, but we don't participate. Virtual reality changes this format completely. VR allows the audience to step inside the story and feel present in the environment. This sense of presence, according to Geffen, is what makes VR a revolutionary storytelling tool. To support his ideas, he shares examples from his own VR projects. He describes how VR can take people into historical scenes, scientific worlds, or imaginative landscapes. Viewers can explore these environments, move within them, and observe details up close. Geffen explains that VR is not only about showing information, it is about creating a personal experience. This makes the story more memorable and emotionally powerful. A key point in the talk is the emotional impact of immersive storytelling. Geffen says that when people feel physically present in a scene, their emotional responses become stronger. For example, instead of watching a documentary about nature destruction, VR allows someone to stand in the middle of an endangered forest or witness melting ice directly. This emotional involvement helps people understand complex issues more deeply. It also increases empathy, which Geffen considers one of the greatest strengths of VR. He also explains that VR changes the structure of stories. In traditional media, the viewer can see only what the director shows, but in VR, the audience is free to look around and explore the environment from different angles. The space itself becomes part of the narrative. Sound, visual details, and interaction all shape the viewer's interpretation of the story. This makes VR a more interactive and personalized storytelling form. Now let's look at the storytelling techniques used in the TEDx talk. First, Geffen uses clear and descriptive language to help the audience imagine the experience of VR. His explanations are simple but vivid, making the concept easy to understand. Second, he uses real-world examples from VR projects. These examples help illustrate how VR works and why it is effective. Third, he uses emotional appeal, talking about empathy and human connection. This gives the talk a personal and meaningful tone. Fourth, the talk has a logical structure. Geffen begins with the problem, introduces VR as a solution, gives examples, and ends with a vision of future possibilities. This keeps the message organized and easy to follow. Finally, he uses future-oriented thinking, encouraging the audience to imagine how VR could be used in many industries. Now I will share my opinion on how VR can be used in my professional field. In education, VR can make learning more interactive and engaging. Students can explore historical places, scientific environments, or cultural settings inside a virtual world instead of learning only from books. VR can also support cultural education. It can recreate museums, heritage sites, and traditional environments that students can explore from anywhere. In language learning, VR can simulate real communication situations. Students can practice conversations in realistic virtual settings, which improves confidence and fluency. In marketing and digital storytelling, VR can create emotional experiences for customers. Instead of showing products, companies can tell immersive brand stories. To conclude, Anthony Geffen's TEDx talk demonstrates that virtual reality is more than a technological innovation. It is a new storytelling language. VR allows people to experience stories with greater emotional depth and personal involvement. This immersive approach can transform education, culture, communication, and marketing. The talk clearly shows that VR will continue to grow as an influential storytelling tool in the future.